Hello. Hello, beautiful souls. We're going to be diving into a near and dear topic today that um, Aria and me feel is really important, especially in the spiritual community. The more powerful you find your crown chakra to be, the downloads that you get, the more important the work of grounding is.
Yeah, remembering that it's not just about ascension. There's like a balance here as we're living on Earth. We're meant to also have that descension. We're meant to also be able to balance the light and the dark, which is something that Esther and I have talked about a lot. So, our topic today is going to be on grounding, what that actually means for us, what that actually feels like for us. I think it's so important within this community that we return to this sense of feeling. We return to the sense of just sensing through our senses and through our bodies. And this is how we know and can feel so much more, so much stronger. And grounded in our practices, in our days, in our actions, in our heart, feeling a lot more centered because we have that deeper level of support. So, yeah, we would love to tune in and feel free to share in the comments. Type it all in.
Yeah.
What are your grounding practices? What does that actually mean for you? I feel like this is once again a very personal thing that we can sense and feel, but it's also very collective. I feel like collectively, if we all had this grounding energy, like we would just know. But here it's like sometimes we're kind of guessing and we're assuming, and some of us truly know what that feels like. So, yeah, I'd love to also for us to share kind of what feels grounding to us, what grounding is to us, or more so what that practice of grounding may look like. So, Esther, if you want to
Absolutely.
start.
Yeah, and again, I feel like you mentioned collectively we all are aware of the idea of grounding and when somebody is grounded in their energy versus when they may feel scattered. I think this has to do a lot with the relationship to earth and kind of like I personally kind of see grounding as gravity. I see it as this pull towards center that keeps us balanced and on the same plane of existence as everything else. I think grounding is a really humbling thing. It's not glamorous. It doesn't really require something fancy or flashy or, big bursts of energy. It's something that's very subtle and very low. And because of that, I think it's not really that popular unless you value it. Unless you value it and you understand the importance of keeping reality, it's like the glue to reality. Personally, grounding practices that I partake in, I would say like barefoot on the ground, soil. If you're here, you probably know how important it is to put the soles of your feet on the earth. You know directly what it can do if you're an electromagnetic charge, if you have too much, of a positive charge, you need to neutralize that to a more grounded state. Like the earth literally does it for us. I think the way that I see grounding and the light resonance portal specifically is tied to our resonance and having this intention of God gave me a unique soul, the creator, the source spark within me is something that is unique for this timeline, this lifetime right now. And I'm meant to express that because the more I can express that, the more in harmony I will be with all creation. And so that kind of grounding, I think, is like the presence of being aware of why we're here and just being present with that purpose. And yeah, I think lastly, the most grounding technique has actually just been breath. I think we all know we're gonna have our last breath one day, and bringing awareness to how sacred breath is, the fact that it is something all living beings share in common, and we are constantly breathing. But when you just bring awareness that, like, these are these are here for a reason, and one day you won't have to breathe because you won't be live and you won't need to. Your purpose is done here on earth, and the matter will go back to where it is. Meditating on death has also been super grounded, and I think it's tied to the breath as well for me. Those two ideas of being aware that my breath is something so connected to life, and when I die I will no longer have it, has helped me ground a lot, especially when emotions are high. And I need to remember that, like, this is not end all be all. There is more to this, and this practice is happening for a reason. But yeah, that's a lot. Feel free to share, Aria.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I, of course, connect so deeply with all that you shared. I think our breath is something that is one of the most powerful indicators of when we're not feeling grounded, when we're feeling dysregulated, when we're, falling back into outdated patterns and programs, um, when we feel unsafe, or when we feel like we need to hide ourselves. So I think returning to the breath and creating comfortability with our breath is creating comfortability in our own bodies. It's creating a sense of I exist on the earth, which is naturally grounding sensation and feeling within our body and our being. So the breath I know for sure for me is like one of those really, really powerful practices. And just like you said, that relationship with the earth, I think that when we go around and we have this overall connection to the land that we're living on. I know you might hear my puppy. Yeah. No? Okay. Well, if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. But overall, when we have an actual relationship and connection with the land, it shifts the way in which we interact with ourselves and with the earth. So I think decolonizing our mind in that sense of not necessarily looking at grounding as, this thing that we need to do. We need to, ground into the earth just for the purpose so that we can feel a lot more centered, but more so that we are returning back to our natural sense of being, returning to what being human actually means. And that is having a relationship with the earth or with the elements or with the land that you're on. It's not something that, we can't do, especially if you don't feel native to the land that you live on, whether you were born on that land or not, like you have a connection, you're living on it and you're able to create that relationship. And this is something I'm so passionate about is that process because I feel like for me, that's when I started to feel so much more supported and safe in my own self and being and on the earth and walking and being no matter where I was, I felt that connection because I cultivated that relationship and allowed myself to recognize that even within my own ancestry. And it's a really sweet, beautiful thing, None of us, all of us are here. We all belong here, We are naturally in connection to the land. So, yes, like walking barefoot, sitting outside, I know it's very cold right now, but for those times that we're able to just be out for 10 minutes up to a few hours, just being outside and sitting or laying down or just walking on the earth without that barrier of plastic or whatever it may be that we're wearing on our feet or on our bodies, just really allowing ourselves to feel the reset energetically and physically within ourselves is really what I see is that healing aspect. And then from there, the connection and relationship is what's really, really grounding. So, yeah, big, big, big. It's so wonderful. And it's something that we all have access to. It's not something that we constantly need to try to do. And we're hoping that this transmission can reconnect all of us with that feeling of groundedness within us, and possibly those next steps to really deepen into this practice, if you see it as a practice or simply this way of being.
Yes. Okay, I had a few last fun facts to add. Because, oh my goodness, Aria, as you were sharing, first and foremost, grounding makes us feel safe. It makes
Mm.
us feel held. It makes us
Like, we
feel,
got it. We're gonna
yeah,
be fine.
yeah, we're stable. We're on stable
Mhm.
ground. Second last fun fact is that Adam, from Adam and Eve in the Bible, his name in Hebrew literally means dirt or soil.
Mhm.
And I find that really interesting, like reflecting on the idea that we were made from earth. We are literally here to tend to the earth. And when we do connect to the earth and allow ourselves to surrender, knowing that we are held, that like this world that we are in was created for us to nurture it. It naturally nurtures us the more that we allow ourselves to surrender into understanding the relationship we have with it. So powerful. So it's very exciting, and I am so thankful to be able to dive into this practice of grounding more deeply into the energy of love, of groundedness.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Let's take a few deep breaths. The largest, biggest breaths that you've taken all day, letting them go out the nose or mouth. Relaxing that jaw gently with every breath. Feeling your breath go down, filling yourself up before letting it out fully and completely. One more time at your own pace and rhythm. If you feel the need to shake out the body or roll the shoulders, just kind of shifting up the energy in which, in this from the state that you were in, and just allowing your energy channels, your pranic pathways to be open to receive exactly what is meant for you at this time, in this moment.
Kundato shudrukundrapapayanto. Moto dikato shumpateapo. Pushungrawakat undrushumteapa. Kish ingritititium brokotatun trlin kum tunstata sundri pampata patrush unrupatrush unrupatruta antarkatrush unrupakutrush. Kundra kundra shundra bakatan kundra shundra bampang kundra shundra kundra kundra wash ungre anrashum prasha. Sayam Nua Seyo Seyo Allowing your awareness to go up and all the way down, down to the ground.
And your next breaths, we invite you to let out an HM on your exhales, extending that humming sound all the way at the end of your exhale. Hmm. 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 Nakiyama ua sadira kiana ta asakata ua shahian. Angi I sakatopua. Angi I satakapua sha'ana hi I kakua kokua satapashi kura kia sanakian. Hakopo sayau. Come way, 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 Guam. Makia satiara komosh. Makia lakia satako. Irakia rakotasian. Aki arehi anato shoko. Shku, 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 shku. Deep breaths.
Yes. And I'm going to invite you to take a breath out and see how deeply you can exhale. And if you can hold it for a moment at the bottom, do it. And then allow yourself to breathe.
Should we do it together? Here, we'll breathe in 3, 2, 1. In. All the way up. And then let it out slow.
Slow.
Holding when you are empty.
And if you can, I invite you to even push or sigh out any extra stagnant air. And then take a moment to hold. 3, 2, 1. Inhaling when you feel ready to release.
And when I heard that was really powerful from a friend, she guides transformative breath work. And on that exhale, when we're holding that breath, whether it's in or out, we are building capacity for trust in our own bodies and our self and source, oneness, in the earth. So, a very sweet, beautiful practice. Thank you. Aquí asati anakosh. Mm.
Thank you so much for joining us in this meditative, transformative, transformational share of the heart, of the light, of the language that is so true to our soul. And of course, we want to take a moment to invite you to join us if you enjoyed this and you would like to join us for a live soul support. We have our last group call for December 2025 coming up, and we would
Mm-hmm.
love you.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Join. It's free. It's on Zoom. We've been doing it once a month this year, and all the information is down below. Make sure you like the video if you've received something from this video, and please do let us know down below your
So
experience. If there's any next steps
grounding.
that came for you, what is that feeling for you? I know sometimes it's hard to put in words, but if you feel called to, please do share. And subscribe if you aren't already, because we're going to be
Please.
continuing to share these transmissions and these talks and these connection points with all of you as we allow ourselves to tap deeper into our soul's resonance and into our soul's divine expression, which is such a blessing. So thank you for being here, for sharing your presence.
So much, and we appreciate your support. We'll see you in the next one.